Stop everything you're doing right now, because the quarter you might just toss on your dresser or left in your car cup holder could be hiding big money. I'm talking about life-changing value, the kind of hidden treasure that turns an ordinary 25-cent coin into thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. And today, the coin at the center of this shocking story is the 2000 Virginia State Quarter, a modern coin that no one ever expected to become a collector's dream. When the U.S. Mint launched the 50 State Quarters program in 1999, it was supposed to be simple. Each state would get its own design. People would collect them for fun, and quarters would finally stop disappearing from circulation. But what nobody knew was that in the chaos of producing billions of coins at record speed, something mysterious began to happen. Errors slipped through, dies cracked, designs shifted, and some of the most valuable modern U.S. coins were accidentally born. Virginia was the 10th state to be honored, released in the year 2000. Its design showed 3 ships, Susan, Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery, sailing proudly to mark the 1607 founding of Jamestown. Millions of these quarters were struck. But buried inside that mountain of coins were a few hidden treasures that would go on to shock the entire coin-collecting world. Here's where it gets wild. Some 2,000 Virginia quarters were struck on the wrong metal planchets, blanks meant for other coins. A few were struck on dime planchets, a few even on foreign coin blanks. That means instead of being copper-nickel quarter metal, they were thinner, lighter, and completely wrong. One such off-metal Virginia quarter sold at auction for over $7,000. That's not a typo. A modern quarter, from the year 2000, turning into serious big money. But that's just the beginning. Then came the die breaks. During high-speed minting, the dies that stamped the design began to crack. On some Virginia quarters, these cracks run across the ships, creating raised lines that look like lightning bolts cutting through history. Some collectors call them sailing ghosts. These dramatic die break coins can sell for $300 to over $1,500, depending on how bold the crack is. And every time a new one is discovered, it feels like uncovering buried pirate gold, true hidden treasure. Now, let me show you exactly how to identify if your Virginia quarter is one of these life-changing value coins. First, check the front of the coin. Look for the date, 2000. Under George Washington's ponytail, look for the mint mark. If it's AP, it was struck in Philadelphia. If it's AD, it came from Denver. Both. Stop. Before you skip this video, listen carefully. Because a single quarter that looks completely ordinary could be hiding big money. I'm talking about a 1987 D. Washington quarter that most people would spend without a second thought. Yet the right version could be a hidden treasure worth hundreds, thousands, and in rare cases, truly life-changing value. Here's the part that shocks people. 1987 is one of the most misunderstood years in modern U.S. coinage. And that misunderstanding is exactly why collectors still find surprises today. Back in 1987, something unusual happened at the U.S. Mint. For the first time in decades, no official uncirculated coin sets were released for the public. That decision alone changed everything. Collectors who wanted pristine coins had to pull them directly from circulation or buy special mint sets at much higher cost. That means high-quality 1987 quarters, especially from Denver, are far scarcer than people realize, and scarcity is where big money is born. Now lean in, because here's the first shocker. The 1987 D. Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, marked with small d on the front of the coin, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Millions were made, but almost all of them were immediately used in everyday commerce. Gas stations, grocery stores, vending machines. They were worn down fast, very fast. So when collectors today find a 1987 D quarter in exceptional condition, alarms go off. Certified examples in ultra-high grades, coins that survived untouched, have sold at auction for $1,000, $2,000, and even more. That's not hype. That's real auction history. One flawless survivor can outperform dozens of older coins simply because it shouldn't exist in that condition. But condition is only the beginning. Now let's talk about errors, the moments when the mint made a mistake and history slipped through the cracks. One of the most exciting errors on the 1987 D quarter is the off-center strike. These coins look wrong immediately. Washington's portrait may be pushed to one side. The rim may be incomplete. The design may look like it's sliding off the coin. Collectors love that. A strong off-center 1987 D quarter, especially with visible date and mint mark, can sell for $300 to $900 depending on how dramatic the error is. That's a quarter becoming rent money. Still with me? Because the next one is even crazier. Another error variety that turns heads is the clip planchet. These quarters look like a bite was taken out of the edge. That missing metal isn't damage. It's a minting error. And when genuine collectors fight over them, a clean clip planchet 1987 D quarter can bring $200 to $600 and more if paired with another error. Now here's where many people miss hidden treasure without realizing it. Look at the color. Most 1987 D quarters should have a standard silver gray appearance from their copper-nickel composition, but some show unusual tones, darker gray, lighter silvery hues, or even a slightly brassy look. That could indicate a wrong planchet error or improper alloy mix. These are rare, very rare. Confirmed wrong planchet quarters from this era have sold for $1,500 to over $3,000. One small color difference can mean life-changing value. Next, attention reset, because this one surprises even seasoned collectors. Check the rim. Yes, the rim. Weak or doubled reading, uneven edges, or missing sections can point to collar error. These happen when the metal collar that shapes the coin fails during striking. Rim errors on 1987. D quarters have sold in the $250 to $700 range, sometimes higher if dramatic and well-preserved. And now, let's talk about the error that makes collectors' hearts race, the double strike. A double-struck quarter shows overlapping images, sometimes rotated, sometimes offset. Washington's face may appear twice. Letters may overlap. These coins look chaotic, and collectors love chaos. A strong double-struck 1987 D quarter can sell for $500 to $1,200 depending on clarity and eye appeal. That's not pocket change. That's big money hiding in plain sight. But wait! There's another layer to the story. Because the most valuable 1987 D quarters aren't always errors. Sometimes they're just perfect. In the coin world, perfection is rare. Most 1987 D quarters were abused by circulation. Finding one with blazing luster, razor-sharp details, and zero marks is incredibly difficult. That's why top-graded examples, those certified at the very highest levels, have shocked collectors by selling for four figures at major auctions. These coins weren't supposed to survive like that. And when something wasn't supposed to survive, it becomes hidden treasure. Now, let me ask you something important. How many times have you held a quarter, glanced at it, and tossed it aside? Because right now, there are people unknowingly carrying coins that collectors would fight over. A 1987 D quarter doesn't look special. That's what makes it dangerous. That's what makes it powerful. So here's what you do right now. Grab your change. Look for 1987. Find the D. Examine the letters. Tilt it under light. Check the rim. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, strange color, or anything that feels wrong. Because wrong in coin collecting often means big money. And here's the cliffhanger. In the next video, I'm revealing a coin so common that millions of people still use it every day, yet one version has sold for enough to buy a new car. If you don't want to miss that kind of life-changing value, make sure you subscribe right now. Check your pockets. Check your jars. Check your drawers. Your next hidden treasure might already be in your hand. Demand. That's when mistakes started escaping. And once a mistake leaves a mint, it becomes history. Here's the first jaw-dropping fact that wakes people up. In 1984, quarters were struck primarily at two mints, Philadelphia and Denver. That means you need to look for one tiny detail that could change everything. The mint mark, if you see a small P or a small D, just to the right of Washington's ponytail on front of the coin. Don't stop there. That little letter is only the beginning of the story, because some 1984 quarters were struck with dramatic errors. Errors so obvious. Once you know what to look for, you'll never see your spare change the same way again. Let's talk about the error that has stunned collectors for decades. The double die on certain 1984 quarters, especially from Philadelphia. Parts of design appear doubled, most often in the lettering. Look closely at Liberty, and in God we trust. If the letters look thick, shadowed, or slightly split, you may be holding hidden treasure. These double die quarters are not minor curiosities. Depending on strength and condition, they have sold for $200, $500, even over $1,000 at auction. That's a quarter turning into rent money, or vacation money, or something far more meaningful. Now stay with me, because this is where it gets even more shocking. Another error that slipped out in 1984 is the off-center strike. These coins look wrong at first glance. Washington's face might be pushed to one side. Part of the date could be missing. The rim might look uneven or incomplete, and collectors love them. A dramatic off-center 1984 quarter, especially one where the date is still visible, can bring $300 to $800, sometimes more if the strike is extreme and condition is strong. That's big money for a coin people throw into tip jars. But here's a twist most people never expect. Color matters. Most 1984 quarters are the standard silver-gray tone of copper-nickel-clad coinage. But some appear darker, lighter, or oddly tinted. That could be environmental damage, or it could be something far more exciting. A small number of 1,984 quarters show improper alloy mixes or planchet errors. These coins can weigh slightly more or less than normal and may have a strange color or texture. Collectors call these wrong planchet errors, and they are some of the most valuable modern coin mistakes out there. Confirmed examples have sold for $1,000 to $3,000. Imagine that. A coin that looks strange enough to make someone spend it, yet rare enough to change someone's life. And we're not done. Now let's talk about the rim. This is where most people never look, and where hidden treasure loves to hide. Examine the edge of your 1984 quarter carefully. If the reading looks weak, doubled, missing in spots, or unusually strong, you could be looking at collar error. Rim errors from this year have appeared in auctions and shock bidders when prices climb past $500. But the story doesn't end with errors. Condition alone can turn a normal 1984 quarter into big money. Most were heavily used. Finding one in truly pristine condition is incredibly rare. In top-tier, near-perfect grades, some 1984 quarters have sold for $1,200 to $2,500. Not because of an error, but because so few survived untouched. Think about that for a moment. Millions were made. Almost all were spent. Only a handful survived perfectly. That's how life-changing value is born. And here's a real auction shocker that still gives collectors chills. A high-grade 1984 P quarter with exceptional luster and strike quality sold at a major U.S. auction for over $2,000, simply because it was better than almost every other known example. One coin, 1 year, one moment of attention. Now, let me ask you something and be honest. When was the last time you actually looked at a quarter before spending it? Because right now, somewhere in the U.S. or the U.K., someone has a 1984 quarter sitting in a jar, a drawer, or a coat pocket, completely unaware they're holding hidden treasure. And the scariest part? They might spend it tomorrow. So here's what you do right now. Check the date. Look for 1984. Check the mint mark. Examine the letters. Tilt it under light. Look at the rim. Feel the weight. Trust your instincts. Because big money doesn't always come from gold bars or ancient coins. Sometimes it comes from the smallest, most overlooked pieces of history. And in the next video, I'm revealing a coin even more shocking than this one. A coin so ordinary that people spend it every day. Yet one version is sold for enough to buy a house. Don't miss that. Check your coins. Protect your hidden treasure. And if you want more stories of coins with life-changing value, make sure you subscribe. Because the next coin might already be in your pocket.